Hello, it's Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me in my craft closet. Today I have a little milk carton box that I'm going to be putting together, and it is very similar to the baker's box that Stampin' Up! Has this thin litz die, and it's very beautiful. It makes very beautiful boxes, but they're not big enough for what I need. And what I need it for is a little preserve jar, and I'm making these for a close relative that makes preserves and jams, and she likes to give them away. So I thought a nice little gift would be to give her some boxes to give them away in. So this one I made out of Sahara sand, and I think I'll just duplicate the one I have here. Okay, so let's get started. The box actually measures, let me measure it, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 square here, and from here to here is like 2 1/4. But I think once it's put together, let's see, what does it measure? It measures about 4 3/4 of an inch tall. So let's get started. We are going to need a piece of cardstock. Actually, you're going to need 2. And this measures 6 inches by 7 inches, okay? 7 inches by 6 inches. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored board. I'm trying to get it to where it's not going to glare on the, with these light bulbs I have. Okay, and now on the 7-inch side here, take your stylus and you're going to score it at 1 3/4 of an inch. Okay, it's 1 3/4 of an inch. I got some ink on it. That's okay. And then, because we're going to be stamping on this, then you're going to score this at 4 1/4 of an inch. Okay, I just kind of do a little double score there, and then 6 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and then you're going to turn this around this way, and like turn it clockwise, that is, and then score it at 2 3/4 of an inch. Okay, oops, should stay in the line right there. 2 3/4 of an inch, and then 5 1/2 inches. Okay, so remember, you're going to do this for 2 pieces of paper that measures 6 inches by 7 inches. Okay, I'm just going to put this scoreboard away, but I'm leaving my stylus out because I'm going to be using it in just a little bit. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some stamping. Here, the top part of this, the top part of this is the one where it has the 1/2 inch. The score line is right at the 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to be stamping in these 2 larger squares right here. So what I'm going to be using is the Homemade for You stamp set. Now, there is a bundle where you can get the Baker's Box Thinlits and Homemade for You stamp set and save 15%. So I'll try to remember to put the part number for the bundle for this, but 15%, that's pretty good. So anyway, I'm going to be using these little polka dots here, and since I'm using Sahara sand, I thought tone on tone would look really nice, and it really does, but I really like the bolder look of the Tip Top Taupe, which is one of the newer colors that Stampin' Up! Came out with this year. So I'm just going to do it on both of these big squares right here, and like that bold look. Okay, and right here too. Okay, there we go. Now I might be covering one of these up. I'm not exactly sure. I also used this this Delish stamp here, and I stamped it on Whisper White, and I cut it out, so it's going to cover up one of these, but I'm not sure which one yet, so that's why I'm not covering it yet. Okay, the next thing I'm going to stamp is this little heart. Now, if you have a little heart stamp from a different set, the one that I found was from this Another Thank You, and it's this little heart right here. I like it. It's really cute. So I'm just going to put a few little hearts on here, and I'm going to put one right here, and one right there, and here, and there. And I'll do the same on this side here. Now the reason I'm just doing it in the corners is because I'm going to be putting another stamp or another label. I'm going to put a label on one side. But then I also have from this Homemade For You, this little spatula and whisk stamp. I'm also going to be using that just right here on this one there. Okay? Just right in the middle of the one on this side. Now don't forget though, the 1/2 inch score line is at the top. This is the top of your box, okay? All right. Now, the reason why I haven't folded and burnished my score lines is because I'm going to be bringing in, let me fold that up before I get myself all messy. I'm going to be bringing in the gift bag punch board. If you're fortunate enough to have this, it's just a great way to round off the bottom parts that you're going to be folding up. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to, the score lines, I'm going to be lining this up with my score line here. And this little notch right there. And see how it kind of rounds things out? Now I'm going to put it right at the edge too. Okay, oh, hope it went all the way down. Sometimes I have a hard time punching with this. Okay, we'll fix that one. And then let's see what it did. Oh, I got a piece of paper stuck in it. That's why. Okay, now we're going to do this other side here. At that score line, this is the narrow score line here, with the narrow piece here. There we go. Okay, now this one didn't really come out that great because I had paper stuck in it, so I'm just going to go ahead and round that up. But when it's working perfectly, it looks like that. Okay, now I'm ready to, oh, and don't put this away because we're going to be using it again. Okay, now I'm ready to fold and burnish all my score lines. Okay, and I'm going to use my bone folder for doing that. Now with the top one, I'm also going to be folding it this way too, okay? Now you're going to be removing some things and you're going to be cutting up the rest of your score line here. Let me just make that a little neater here. Now this, even though we punched this up, made it look nice and pretty, we still have to finish cutting up that score line. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn it around and make sure I've got that score line cut completely off. Okay. And we're going to do the same with this, cut all the way up, but then I'm going to fold this in, and then I am going to make a notch right there, and then that will just fall right off. And then I'm going to fold this over. Wait, I didn't fold that score line here. I'm going to fold this one and then notch that off right there. Okay, and I'm going to do the same. But let me cut this little tiny notch, this little tiny rectangle here. That's the smallest rectangle. You're going to be cutting that completely off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and notch like that. Okay, so now you've got your notches on the side. And you're also going to need to cut this one off here. Okay, so I am going to fold this and try as neatly as I can to cut off this score line. Oops, now I'm not being very neat, but I do shake a little bit, so that's why I fold. And I'm going to fold this part here and cut this off here. So pretty much I just want my score lines to be completely cut off. All right, now the reason why I told you don't put the gift bag punch board away is because I'm going to make 2 holes in here, and it has a really nice hole punch on the top side. So, but first I have to mark the middle, and I'm going to do that with my ruler. And the middle would be 1 3/8 of an inch in. So 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch in here. Okay, that's about the middle. mark it on this side here. And then you're going to line up your little notch on the top side of this punch to that mark that you made, and then punch your holes. Now, I might have to stand to do this, so bear with me. There it goes. Okay, so I got my 2 holes punched. Okay, and now we're done with that gift bag punch hole, punch board. And now what I'm also going to do is mark the halfway mark on here, on this side, because I need to make some additional score lines so that I could make this part of the box. You see that part that folds in there? So by marking it on the opposite side, okay, not on the front side, but on the back side, I'm going to bring in my silicone pad because it has a slight little bit of gush. I can't use my my piercing mat because it has too much gush, and doing this will tear your paper. So I'm going to use the silicone craft mat, and I'm going to take my my stylus, and I am going to run a score line from this corner to the middle, and right where the 2 lines meet, I'm going to run another score line from here to here. And that's to make that crease that you need for that milk carton here. Okay? All right, now I'm going to be rounding the corners of this top part here using my corner rounder. If you have the Project Life corner rounder, that's good. I don't have one of those, but I will be getting one soon. In the meantime, this little corner rounder has been doing okay for me. All right, there we go. Now I am ready to bring in the other piece that I have prepared, and I am going to be gluing or adhering these 2 pieces together. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to be using some tear tape. Let me just put the tear tape on. I'll just keep my craft mat here. Get rid of some of this scrap. Okay, tear tape. Let's put some tear tape close to the score line, but not over the score line. And yes, you can tear it. I choose not to. I just don't tear very well. And I leave all kinds of scraggly edges, making it hard for me to peel off that paper that's on top. So with the paper piercing tool, I'm going to be removing this paper here. And since I cut a little bit over, I'm going to tuck that little bit of adhesive over so that it's not sticking to everything else. Okay, that is the beauty of this tape. Okay, now I'm going to be matching the score lines . Okay, so now you have this, and now you're going to put some more tape right here and here so that you can finish it up. Let me do that. I think the reason why I like to use this little silicone mat is because nothing sticks to it. So if I use a little bit more tape than normal, it's not sticking to my grid pad and tearing everything. So this is my best friend here. Okay, now I'm taking this up. Let's move it from this side here. Okay, let's tuck in this tape here. All right, now I'm going to fold this like this. I see some of my paper came apart, but that's okay. And it should match up perfectly. Okay, there you go. All right, now I always have a problem squaring things up. Okay, so what you want to do, I've solved the problem, and I solved it using my Stampin'Up jig because, you know, it is a square. So what you want to do is determine what side is your front, and I think I'm going to have this as my front. So this is going to be my front, so I'm going to fold the two sides in all the way and fold the back side in all the way. And then I'm going to be putting some more adhesive here. For speed, I'm just going to go ahead and use Fast Fuse. I'm going to use about maybe 3 lines of Fast Fuse. Okay. And now take your Stampin'-Up tool, and you're going to make sure that the corner here is on the corner here and line that up straight, like as if it was a stamp, okay? And so that's going to help you square things up. Now, take your bone folder and don't let the sides fall in first. You're going to need the back piece to fall in first, okay? I don't know if you can see it very well. And then you can bring your sides in, okay? Now, if you didn't put enough adhesive there on this on that first flap, then you can just take a glue dot. So I'm just going to take a little mini glue dot with my paper piercing tool, and I'm going to set that glue dot on top, and then fold it. Underneath that one last flap that's not folding down. So now I have a really pretty good square here. Okay, this is kind of a handy tool for squaring things up. Okay, otherwise I'm all lopsided. So now it's time to finish decorating the box. Okay, I can see I didn't center the little circles perfectly on this one, but that's okay. I'm going to be putting ribbon there, and the ribbon will hide it. Now, I have this stamp here, and this is the front of my box. I'm just going to use some snail adhesive to attach it. Okay. All right. Probably don't need that much, but I want this label to stay on really well. So there it is. Now, what I've done to also decorate it is I've used a couple of the dies from this stamp set, this Yum, and this little frame die here, which I cut out the homemade. So let me show you what I did here. Okay. I punched out, I stamped the homemade on Whisper White, and then I cut it out with this little frame die here. And then I just colored the edges, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some dimensionals, and I'm just going to put them on the back here. Okay, let me remove this. Put it on the back side, which is this side here. Oops, upside down. Okay. All right. And I also cut out this little Yum, this word that says Yum, and I cut that out in Whisper White. And I think I'm also going to put that on the back side. But this time, let me see if I can find my two-way glue, which is probably going to be tough because I might have run out of it. Okay, well, let's just use a little bit of snail on here. You can always remove any extra snail with your adhesive remover if you have that, or just rub it off. Okay, so I'm putting the word Yum right here. Okay, isn't that cute? Now for the front side, what I did was I used my my oval punch. This is the 1 3/4 by 7/8 oval punch, and with some scrap Sahara sandpaper, I stamped another stamp, which this stamp set here is called Creatively Yours, and I stamped it out of the From the Kitchen Of stamp. Okay, and then I also took my scalloped punch and punched that out in white, and then I just adhered this. So I'm going to use some more dimensionals to put this on. Okay, I thought I would just save time to have these already prepared, but that's pretty much how I did that. And we're going to put this on this side here, From the Kitchen Of. Now this is my front side. Okay, now I'm ready to put my ribbon, and I would love to say that I have some of the Tip Top Taupe dotted lace ribbon, but I don't have any right now. But what I do have is some of the Sahara sand. Let me take it from here, because I think I might have dropped it. Oh, yes, I did. Well, let's just take this one off. And I'm going to put it through the front like this. Okay. And then lace it through the back like that. Okay. Okay, this is going to look really, really pretty when I get my tip-top taupe dotted lace. It's on my next order, and they've back ordered it for a little while because it's so popular. I can't seem to get my hands on it, but it's coming in. You can order it. I'll give you the part number, or the item number, rather. Okay, here we go. Now, let's make it look pretty. Nope, I did something wrong. Okay, what I noticed too when I make my bows, I noticed that the very first knot really does make a difference, okay? So, with some other ribbon, I put the right over the left and then under, okay? And then with this one here, I make my bow, go over the top, and it seems to work just a little bit neater for me. There we go, see? All right, I have to keep remembering that's how you make a bow. Now I'm going to take my craft scissors and I'm just going to trim a little bit of this off here just to make it a little, just to make it lay a little prettier. And then I'm done, okay? And like I said, this will fit perfectly. This little jar here fits perfectly in there. So she's going to be able to give away her gems and jellies in a pretty little box that she can sign her name here for. Isn't that cute? So I hope that you'll try this. And once again, I am Jeanette with Geomazing Paper Crafts. If you need any of the supplies that I used, please check out my blog. I'm going to have a list on my blog this time. So you'll have a direct link to Stampin' Up! Products. So this is Jeanette with Geomazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye-bye.